Welcome to the Jehovih Chronicles with your host, Cosmon.
Jehovah is as near this day as in the time of the ancients. Put yourself in order, becoming one with him. And no book is so easily read as his created universe. Inspiration comes less by books than by what Jehovah wrote. His worlds read him and his works. Frame your speech and your thoughts for him. He will answer you in your own behavior and in the happiness of your soul. Great wisdom cannot be attained in a day, nor purity and strength to overcome temptation, till the growth is from the foundation. The fool will say, the sacred books are no more than man of his own knowledge could write. Yet he has not wisely imitated the power of the words of your God. Let him do this well, and behold, he will also declare my words are from me. Yes, he will recognize them wherever found. It is the will and wish of your God that all men become constitutionally capable of receiving and comprehending the highest life, and that they shall no longer depend upon any priest, church, oracle, holy book, or upon consulting the spirits, and that their behavior may make the earth a place of peace, with long life to all people, for the glory of Jehovah. To his Etherian gods and goddesses, Jehovah said, as you have founded arcs of light in my Etherian heavens to determine the travel of my corporeal worlds, so shall my God of the earth inspire mortals to build lighthouses for man's ships that travel on the oceans, and those who travel in the ships. And those on the land shall know when a ship nears the port, even as you see my traveling earth approaching the place of Cosmon. For this shall be an illustration to mortals, that I have appointed cycles of times and dawns of times, with gods and goddesses to superintend my creations in tenderness and love, lest by chance man becomes despondent, saying, alas, Jehovah did not provide in wisdom commensurate with the magnificence of his creations. Behold, the time draws near when the nations of the earth shall course around the whole earth in ships, crossing the seas and oceans to all the places I created. Yeah, I feel good right now.
the spirit. Green skies, they gang coming. I be in and out, so leave that thing running. Purify is preferred. Higher frequency, a higher bird. I observe on a different nerve. Breaking codes, I am the yoga. Deadly as a Ruger, straight and a shooter. Out the holster with this mudra. Inoculation with the wisdom. Creator shape my prism and hit them with those schisms. Perfect. Breathe and turn the light up. Y'all disappointing like 9 to 5 and some write-ups. Something rearranged. Let that boy cook. Organization 33, stay up in them books. We them boys shook. 46 divided, yeah, I'm Fort Michael. It was only rifle that I came up in this cycle. They say they gangsters, but they telling me. Step outside, take off my shoes and let the sun hit my melon. Had to be learned that the herb beat the medicine. It's the same matrix, so who you think you better than? Perfect.
We dreamers. We dreamers. Yeah. That's when we're sleeping. Yeah. We dreamers. We dreamers. Bring it to fruition. It's reality. Oh yeah. They say T, you got some favors, so I know that my prayers go high. It's elevators on high. That's where my maker reside. I'm just his player besides my tribulation, my pride got in my way, but my God so liberating, yeah. So why you facing what you facing? It's really related, heavily sedated. Don't be for the taking. My peace I hate it. Hard to break it, they try to shake it. What come with them sizes at stake? That bill you cannot repay it. Yeah, a demon slide, I'ma have to slay it. Around pets all my life, now I ain't gotta spread. Got that water on its way, gon' have to convey it. Got heavenly power in my house and I ain't gotta pay it. No, but spread love be my M-O-T-I-V-E. But they whining like CC, full of laughter like hee-hee. Heath Ledger go ha-ha, all the praise to my dada. I've been drinking that agua, now you might think it's sci-fi. Must been on that la-la, I'm so connected Wi-Fi. So disconnect that rah-rah like Sada. No magic though, my creator magical. Frightened that's an act, but I be studying like my daddy though. Miss my daddy though, blame my father's what my family broke. Trying to break the choke, devil's thirsty, tell them grab a coke. They don't want the smoke, well I'll load them in my catapult. Wide toe, spirit got my back, that's a ladder. And we dreaming, cold world in your freezing. We have them type of seasons, so try to reason. I tell you singing is believing. I tell you singing is believing. Now if you're dreaming, cold world in your freezing. Cover up while you're sleeping, so try to reason. I tell you singing is believing. I tell you seeing is believing. Sometimes I wanna hide out, bump that I just ride out. Ain't no time to time out, gotta work and put that time in. Laugh and keep from crying, fight done throw that towel in. On my month like Shaolin, he blowing me up, I'm dialed in. Can you answer that? Stop the cheating while you glancing back. Keep enhancing that, and he'll bless you with expansion packs. Real and that's the facts. Real surreal, not talking Apple Jacks. We them boys that attack. Every day like every game is action packed. Yeah, I know he perfect. Timing never right when I be fighting with the serpent. I know he know I see him. Why he plotting, why he lurking. I just wash him, no detergent. And it's all up on the person. Put the work in, man. Cold world in your freezing. We have them type of seasons. We try to reason. I tell you singing is believing. I tell you singing is believing. Now if you're dreaming, cold world in your freezing. Cover up while you're sleeping. So try to reason. I tell you singing is believing. I tell you singing is believing.
That's right. Right back like I left it there. It's your hostess with the mostest, holding that fire like a roach, clip your naga, your nerve, fresh off of that curved jelly, jam and preserve. Cosmonian, Anakwakaiki, the cloud kicker back up in this thing. Yeah, that's right. I'm Freddie, big brother. You dig what I'm talking about? When Freddie gets scared, he called me. Man, salute out there to the faithists, man. Peace to the righteous gods and Nirvanian goddesses. Creator gang is in this thing, as the homie just said. Listen, it's creator gang or don't bang. You dig what I'm saying? It's creator gang or don't bang. You wasting your time doing anything else. You dig what I'm talking about? But we gonna get into that affiliation always. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out to the faith. Shout out to my sisters out there loving, like, just up in the morning cooking. Off some of this cushion, this coffee early in the morning. Feeling good. Off the veggie pasta. Had the veggie pasta got me feeling I had ate no pasta in so long, man. It got me feeling kind of rejuvenated. I feel good. You dig what I'm saying? About to just cooking a little bit, man. What y'all got going on this morning, man? I wasn't doing that. You dig what I'm saying? I was like, man, let me just come through. You dig what I'm talking about? Share a little something. You dig what I'm saying? With the homies. Who up in this thing? Let me see who we got up in here. My sister Tabitha up in here. Say salute to the cloud kicker. That's right. You dig what I'm talking about? You know, I ain't doing nothing early in the morning kicking clouds. You say you about to head out to the beach. Baby sis up in this thing. Kila. Shout out to all our sisters, man, because they really kind of advanced. You dig what I'm saying? When I see a faithless woman, period, you dig what I'm talking about? Usually, you dig what I'm talking about? She is mentally in a space all her own. Like they're really vortexes. You dig what I'm talking about? They bring things from outside and bring them on to the center and make them all make sense. They're a little more light field, if that makes sense. They're a little more caring. I ain't saying they no punks and no pushovers, but they're a little more womanly. You dig what I'm talking about? And I just like the fact that they cool with expressing to their brothers, not trying to, you dig what I'm talking about, trying to dominate or trying to follow behind nobody. You dig what I'm saying? Our sisters ain't second fiddle. You dig what I'm saying? Really, that's really what we should probably do. Because y'all will listen then if a pretty face told you the same information we was just telling you. Y'all niggas will listen then. You dig what I'm talking about? So we ought to go ahead and get one of the sisters together. You dig what I'm talking about? Go and spread this light out there. They're just a little different. The faith the sister is a little different. Her conversation is different. Her vibe is different. She real chill. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. Shout out to the sisters, man. They always seem to click on a little faster. Like the sisters get it. And it's two people who get it readily in this world. Children and women. It be us hard-head ninjas. You dig what I'm talking about? I'll die for my God, Cosmon. No, I will not die. I'll kill you for my God. You dig what I'm talking about? I don't want to die. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? And the realization of the creator and stuff like that, man, kind of just take all that fear and all that stuff away. You dig what I'm saying? We don't even rock with it. You dig what I'm saying? We more dominate the spirit over on this side. You dig what I'm saying? We more dominate the spirit than our
Because I'm going to keep it G real. I don't fuck with you because you disrespecting me. You disrespect my hood by telling me take off my flag, asking how gangster I was, nigga. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. I told you I ain't got time for that. But, nigga, today I got time, cuz.
See, today I got time. Today I got time, cuz. You dig what I'm saying? So we gonna go ahead and get the cookie, man. Who else we got up in here? James Judas. James the Just. Shout out James the Just. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out that brother right there. Where you from, James Just? Yafa up in this thing. You dig what I'm talking about? She said, "What up to the favorite chat?" I like this. This the favorite chat on the internet too. I think too. It's the most intelligent. I don't believe that nobody can hold a candlestick to y'all. You know what I mean? It ain't no high, ain't no low, so ain't no, most of you, least of you over here. But you dig what I'm talking about? I think even the newest faith is. You dig what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the guy that ain't talked to nobody, who just been in this thing a week, right? If he is perceiving this light and is taking this in, he is leaps and bounds ahead of most people, period. Right? He's leaps and bounds. But for those who, just got a little bit of this light, what I'm trying to tell you, y'all galaxies away from these dudes. You dig what I'm saying? And for the faithist who has a true grasp and understanding that the creator is and works through all things, listen. They light years ahead of everybody else. Light years. And the dope part about a watch being creation is that the fact that it is creation, it must prove itself objectively. Ain't nobody seen creator. You dig what I'm talking about? So if you gonna prove him, you gonna prove him objectively, you must prove him through his creation. He gives you a signature, a fingerprint, and a philosophy to creation. You dig what I'm talking about? One of those is time, right? What we're starting to learn is that time is subjective and only applies to the beginning and the dissolution of an object at a certain time, right? That's when time exists, when you can perceive it, right? Other than that, past, present, and future are all happening at once, right? It's not till you can perceive time, till you learn to tell time, right, that it actually becomes a useful tool. You dig what I'm talking about? BC up in this thing. My brother Big D up in here, man. D Peterson, man. Shout out to the creative gang. Of course, the West Coast Cali Connect is up in this thing. Hey, Dreadful Cosmon, man. I gotta tap in with my bros, man. I've been your brother been on some humperdink this year, man. I just been, man. They done whooped me down this year, man. I ain't even gonna lie. They done, it's been a lot of things going on. You dig what I'm saying this year, man? And they done whooped on your brother, man. But I'm still here. Huh? I'm still here. I'm still kicking in the end of the day. You dig what I'm talking about? So we gonna get to shed some light up in this thing. You dig what I'm talking about on the on time and the creation of man. You dig what I'm saying? It's a channel I want y'all to go sub and share too. I don't even know who it is. Right? But they're doing AI. I think it might be Nazarene or his girl or somebody. I don't know who it is. But I thought it was, but I'm not sure. But it's called hold on, let me look at it so I can get y'all the right name. Divine Cosmic Blueprint. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, subscribe to Divine Cosmic Blueprint. They breaking down visuals in the OWASP, you dig what I'm talking about, and giving some visual context pointers to the words that are being said in the pages. So it's dope, you dig what I'm saying, and it's something you just want to check out, you dig what I'm saying. We got I got one I'm gonna bring forward in a little bit, you dig what I'm saying. I got one
In the beginning,
I'm gonna show y'all real quick. You dig what I'm saying? But before we get there, you dig what I'm talking about? Get these shouts out, man. Who up in this thing, man? Hey, my baby bro up in this thing, man. STL's finest, huh? You dig what I'm saying? Honor and humility. This my brother Malachi Maccabee 1/4 for the Turtle Gang. You dig what I'm talking about? The Full Horseman is my baby brother. This Mikey. You dig what I'm talking about? He the little wild nigga that slap you in your face with a nunchuck. You dig what I'm talking about? You dig what I'm talking about? Go upside your head with a nunchuck. Y'all ever seen that old video where Bruce Lee is he's playing two men in ping pong, right? The two dudes that got ping pong paddles and they on one side and he on one side, but he's playing them with nunchucks. Y'all seen that? Listen, man, he'll slap you upside your head with slap you upside your head with that with that nunchuck real quick. Elijah 7 up in this thing, man. Hey, yeah, that's my baby bro, man. Honor and humility. STL, y'all go over there, sub, like, share. You dig what I'm talking about to my baby bro, man? Tell him Cosmon sent you. You dig what I'm saying? Who else we got up in here, man? We got let me see. Hold on. We got Ray. Sister Elizabeth Weaver up in this thing. Hey, sis, what's going on with the goings on? How you been? Ain't seen you in a minute. You dig what I'm talking about? Johnny James up in this thing. You dig what I'm talking about? What's going on? You dig what I'm talking about? Yafa up in this thing, of course. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out my sister. You dig what I'm talking about? Who else we got up in this thing? James just say from Baltimore. He from where I think the Baltimore niggas got their own language. They might be. You dig what I'm talking about? They got some fluting over there. Over there, you dig what I'm talking about? They hit you with some twos and U's so cold. You dig what I'm talking about? You would think you was in England or somewhere. You dig what I'm talking about? What if Baltimore niggas is the real original Englanders? Niggas that came over from England. That's why they got that little, that little kind of lingo. You dig what I'm saying? It's different. Of course they Aboriginal, but you dig what I'm talking about? What if that's where the niggas from the UK end up going to and breeding in, and they just kept that type of Cockney type of swag with it. You dig what I'm talking about? That little tin, you know what I mean? And blue and flute, and them boys hit you with an earth and snigger. You dig what I'm talking about? How you the goop up out of here? You dig what I'm talking about? These boys looking crazy. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to my Baltimore folks, man. Shout out to Maryland, man. That's I got folks up in Maryland. Mom Dukes in Maryland. You dig what I'm saying? Well, actually, my mom Dukes is yeah, she leaving. She up here. She up here in Michigan, so she leaving out today. You dig what I'm talking about? She leaving out today to go back to Maryland. She been chopping it big up in the Great Lakes. You dig what I'm talking about? D Peterson, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? Bright Mo Deezy up in this thing, nigga. What up, though? You dig what I'm saying? She say live from the soda. You dig what I'm talking about? Talking about that mini. Talking about that Minneapolis. You dig what I'm talking about? Put the soda in it. You dig what I'm talking about? Black Nino Macolini, what's going on, bro? It's my bro right there. You dig what I'm talking about? Yeah, tea and crumpets ass niggas. Hey, you dig what I'm talking about? Hey, yeah, your moms just came out too. Yup. You dig what I'm talking about? They angelic. What's going on? Angelic. Need to holler at Angelic. Yeah. You was already here. You Indian. You definitely Indian, but nigga, they done mixed in some of that black European genetics in there, man. Y'all niggas didn't, or y'all done went over there and just turned into white folks. One of the two. You dig what I'm saying? They done came over here and mixed with y'all, or y'all went over there and mixed with them. One of the two. You done gave that shit to them. I do not believe that they gave you the language. I believe that you gave them the language. We taught them English. You dig what I'm talking about? Not the other way around. Remember, if they was coming over there, they would have been speaking Welsh, Danish, Celtic, Gaulish, Russian tongues, Saxon tongues, Germanic. They would have been speaking all type, but they wouldn't have been speaking English. Well, where you get it from? English was already here. It's the American trade language. We spoke Algonquin, Muskogee, Iroquois, Athabascan, Inuit, Aluit over here, over on this side. Ain't none of them English, but how did all them contact with each other? It's a trade language. The trade language is signed. That signed language becomes English. You dig what I'm saying? That trade language that the world that's dominated the world today is now known as English. It's American Indigenous signed language. Michael Yala, what's going on, brother? He said, we need more faith this year. I feel like I'm the only one. But you not. You dig what I'm talking about? Glass Moon, what's going on? Salute. You dig what I'm saying? I just wanted to show y'all this, man, real quick. Y'all make sure y'all go to, let me give you the name one more time. Divine Cosmic Blueprint. I don't even know who that is. But they rocking with Owaspy, and they doing a good job of it, so I'm rocking with it. I want to show y'all. It kind of line up with what we talking about today. This is from the first book of the Lords. You dig what I'm saying? So let's just kick into this real quick. You dig what I'm talking about? No further ado. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 266. Time and the creation of man.
Creator can't coming. Turning up the light and watching boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan.
Create a gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
Created the heavens of the earth, and the Lord made man upright. And man was naked and not ashamed. Neither knew man the sin of incest, but he dwelt as the beasts of the field. And the Lord brought the angels of heaven to man. By his side took they on forms like unto man, having all the organs and attributes of mortals. For it was the time of the earth for such things to be. And it came to pass that a new race was born on the earth, and these were called Ihins, because they were begotten of both heaven and earth. Hence it became a saying, the earth conceived of the Lord. And the name of the first race was Asu, Adam, because they were of the earth only. And the name of the second race was Ihin, Abel, because they were capable of being taught spiritual things. And the Lord said, of all that live on the face of the earth, or in the waters thereof, or in the air above, that breathes the breath of life, man only have I delivered unto knowledge of his Creator. And the Lord spake unto the Ihin, through his angels spake he to them, saying, Go hide thy nakedness, for it is the commandment of God. And the Ihins were afraid, and they clothed themselves, and were no longer naked before the Lord. And the Lord commanded the angels to give up their forms, and to be no more seen as mortals. And it was done. And the Lord said unto them, Because ye brought forth life, which is in flesh and blood, ye shall minister unto man for 6 generations on the face of the earth. And it was so. And that man may continue to walk upright, ye shall teach him the law of incest, for man of himself cannot attain to know this. Neither shall ye permit the Ihins to dwell with Asu, Adam, lest his seed go down in darkness. And man was thus inspired of the Lord, and he walked upright and prospered on the earth. But after a season man became conceited in his own judgment, and he disobeyed the commandments of God. And he strayed out of the garden of paradise, and began to dwell with the Asuans, Adams, and there was born into the world a new race called Druk, Cain, and they had not the light of the Father in them, neither could they be inspired with shame, nor of heavenly things. And the Ihins were grateful to the Lord, and they gave sacrifice in burnt offerings. And they said unto the Druks, Go ye and sacrifice unto the Lord, and he will prosper you. But the Druks understood not, and they fell upon the Lord's chosen, and slew them, right and left, taking their possessions. And the Lord said unto the Druks, Because ye have slain your brethren, ye shall depart out of the place of God, and that ye may be known to the ends of the earth, I put my mark upon you. And the mark of the Lord put upon the Druks was the shadow of blood, which being interpreted is war. And the Lord God said, By this sign shall the tribes of Druk and their descendants be known unto the end of the world. And woman, being more helpless than man, cried out with fear, saying, O Lord, how shall I bring forth unto thee, and not unto the sons of death? And the Lord said, Because thou hast brought forth in pain, and yet called on my name, behold, I will be unto thee as a shield and protector. For I will also put a mark upon the Ihins, my chosen, so thou shalt know them when they come unto thee. And the Lord commanded the male Ihins, old and young, to be circumcised, that woman might not be deceived by the Druks. And the Ihins circumcised one another, old and young. For it was the testimony of the Lord unto woman, that seed of their seed was born to everlasting life. And the Druks, Cain, went away into the wilderness, and dwelt with the Asuans, and with one another. God said, A boundary line will I make betwixt the tribes of Druks and the Ihins. And this is the line that I, the Lord God, make betwixt them. The Ihins shall labor and clothe themselves, and I will abide with them. But the Druks shall wander in the wilderness, neither laboring nor clothing themselves. And it was so.
Now, y'all make sure y'all show some love over there. Sub, like, share to Divine. One more time. One more time. Let me get it.
Now to a News Nation exclusive
It's called
investigation.
Divine
into a
Cosmic
government
Blueprint. Divine Cosmic Blueprint. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all go lock in over there real quick, man, and show them people some love. You dig what I'm saying? We just gonna cook real quick, and I'm gonna get up out of here. I ain't gonna browbeat it. You dig what I'm talking about? We just gonna get into the Optian age, or the optimal time for man to exist on the planet. And just like anything else, there's rhyme and reason to creation. You dig what I'm talking about? Just like every there's a season and a reason that everything happens. So with the earth, or solarly, so with our solar system, so with the galaxy, so with the universe, there are times, reasons, and seasons for all things. And understanding the when and the how, right? Or the when and the why, allows you to understand the how it was done. You dig what I'm saying? So let's get into what Owaspy calls the Eoptian age, right? Eoptian, right? Or the optimal time for man to exist on the planet, the time and creation of man, the allegory of Adam and Eve. Now, first of all, we got to understand that, when we hear Adam and Eve and all that, we instantly think of the Bible because that's the only point of reference most people come from. Well, Adam and Eve are actually allegorical stories or definitions of people groups. One, we know that Adam is meaning holy from earth is man and woman. They're a whole race of people. It's not just two little people in Africa, right? Adam is symbolic for a race, male and female, of the earliest people groups, right? What science like to call hominid. So, then that begs to ask the question, if the females and males are both called Adam or Adamites, you dig what I'm talking about? Well, who the hell is Eve? Eve is the angelic host of angels who came down with the very first God. Right? They came down to teach the pre-Adamite, the hominid group. You dig what I'm talking about? The ergasters, the Australopithecus types. You dig what I'm saying? They came down to teach them. But as Owaspy explains, many of these angels, the reason they're coming back to Earth is in a time called Simu, where the building blocks of genetics are literally in the air being rained onto the planet, and they're in pools over the land, the trees, and everything around you. Simu is readily there. So the substance or the building blocks for proteins and genetics in DNA are just ACTG loose around in a gelatinous type substance, right? So the angels were coming to Earth in the first place to take upon semblances of flesh, of earth bodies. Why? Because they had died as infants on whole other planets. As Owaspy explains, many of these angels were more than 1,000,000 years older than the earth was. Right? Let that sink in. These angels, these one-time living men died on other planets and other galaxies somewhere. You dig what I'm talking about? 1,000,000 years before the earth was even created. Now, because they've grown up, in the spirit, you dig what I'm talking about? They have no knowledge of earthly, they have no earthly knowledge. So imagine, you may be 5.5 billion years old or a million years old or whatever. You dig what I'm talking about? Just say 1,000,000. You're 1,000,000 years old, right? And but you've never been cold. You're a million years old, but you've never been hungry. Right? You don't know what it feels like to stub your toe. You don't know what weight feels like to lift a box or to feel 5 pounds in your hand. You have no reference for it, right? So that makes their knowledge incomplete. And this is why Creator was sending them back to earth to take upon semblances of flesh and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Raise up the man and give you an opportunity to learn earthly knowledge. There's no other way you can learn it. All right? There's no other way to learn from life than to live one. There are certain times where the angelic beings are readily able to take upon these semblances of flesh. So they look like people. They got the functions of people because they are people. You dig what I'm saying? But Jaja slick though too. He slick too. Because he knew man was in a way, right? And he doesn't create anything out of nothing. There has to be a source for everything, right? So if man in his early beast-like stage had no spiritual understanding and couldn't learn, there's a difference, right? He couldn't learn. Well, where does the ability to learn come from? Right? They try to blame it on death of megafauna. They try to blame it on eating meat. Everything except that their system and order behind it all. Right? So Eve are the angelic hosts who came with the very first God, took upon semblances of flesh, and mated with the Asu beast man. But man, they show some of these pictures. You know what? Listen, man. So obviously they said, but he was right next to on side of them. So he was drawn from like semblances of flesh. So if this is a beastly looking nigga, he probably was a beastly looking nigga too. But the difference is when the angel would have took up on flesh, imagine, let's say you're a million years old. When you took up on that semblance of flesh, you took a million years worth of horny. You've never been horny before. Now you got a million years worth of yearning on you. You've never been hungry before, but now you got a million years worth of hungry. Huh? You've never been cold before, but now you got a million years worth of cold on you. So they taking up on that would have been a shocking to a thing that had never had senses, right? The spirit don't got physical senses in the sense of the same as in the corporeal body, right? Your corporeal body or your spirit records what the corporeal body feels, right? Sees, hears. Your spirit is what's learning. This is why the physical body dies and the energy keeps going, right? So you dig what I'm saying? With that being said, you know, the high ray spirit or the ability or the expansion of the frontal lobes in man didn't just come out of nowhere randomly. Right? It came from advanced people who way back then would have already been more advanced than we are now. So yeah, they would have been hella thinking, raised up beings, you know, pure. They'd have been in the heavens millions of years. You dig what I'm saying? So, but now I got a million years worth of ache, pain, hungry, hurt. You never been hurt before. Imagine getting 1,000,000 years worth of heartbreak. You had puppy love for the first time. Imagine getting 1,000,000 years worth of puppy love, all that. So this is how I rationalize to myself that a high-raised being could mess with this monkey man. That's basically what it is. That's what Adam is. He a man. He's a man. No doubt about that. 100%. But boy, he beastly. Right? And the difference is the ability to learn. But remember, he said, I made everything, but only the man. Only to man is the only animal or thing that I've made that allowed it to try to understand its creator. Everything else just does what he tells it to do. And y'all call it instinct. He says it's direct inspiration because he right there. That's why a horse eats hay and runs around in a circle. A dog like bones because Jaja say that's what it's supposed to do. You dig what I'm talking about? So, this is how I rationalize that one of these high-raised etheric beings would sleep with a monkey man, in a sense. You dig what I'm talking about? You saying they monkeys, Cal? No, they're not monkeys. They don't come from apes or primates. Unless you saying a primate is a thing with two eyes that look forward, that can walk forward. Other than that, they're not monkeys. They're men. But men in their early stages, just like babies in their early stages, do the same thing. They got minimal speech, minimal knowledge, minimal motion. Right? That would be a man in his infancy and man itself in his infancy. So this is why it makes sense that the very first sounds or the name of the creator are all vowel sounds, just like a child makes. Ah, eh, eh. You dig what I'm saying? That those da 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 da. They're all vowel sounds. All right, let's get into this. So we know that Eve is the angelic host that they've always talked about. Listen, ain't a story on earth. Nam. And the oldest, by the way, always tell you somebody came from somewhere else and either made you, bred you, you interbred with them. Somebody come out the sky. So let's not act like this is just so far-fetched now that Owaspy is telling you really what happened. Don't say it's spooky. It's not. Right? When Enoch shit dropped up out the sky and the sons of God came down and had sons and daughters with men in Genesis 6, y'all niggas didn't blink an eye. So now that you learn that they're just other men from some of the other trillions of galaxies that could be anywhere, because mind you, let me just tell y'all, as a little context, how these angels got here. They came with the very first God, but they were on a journey of 4 million years that they had only been on for 500,000 years. Huh? He said, hey, I just made a new earth, man. Go check that shit. Go check it out for me. Make sure, take it through his paces for me. That's how thinking man got here. You dig what I'm talking about? It was a primate already here, already a man here. We call him Adam. The reason why y'all can't really remember nothing about him, because Adam left nothing. He was a dunce. Listen, Adam was dumber than the animals. Why? Why can you say that? First of all, who gonna teach Adam if don't nobody else know anything? No other man anywhere knows anything. We just blinked into existence for all that. You dig what I'm saying? Adam blinked into existence. Real talk. You dig what I'm saying? So ain't nobody else there to know nothing, and then you don't even have the ability. Like if I told you left is red, right is blue. Left is red, right is blue. And then I say turn around. And I tell you, repeat what I just said. You would say, yeah. So this is how early man was. He was, and think about this. At least a dog knows it's a dog. Never have to teach a dog that it likes bones. Never have to teach a coyote that it loves rabbits. You dig what I'm talking about? Never teach a rabbit. A rabbit don't go to rabbit school to learn that I don't like coyotes and I should run. My thing is, day one, a rabbit knows to run. Huh? Day one, a bird knows how to build a nest. Huh? Who teaches that? Creator said the only reason it do what I built it to do is because I'm actually there. What you call breath and heartbeat is me animating this thing. You call me energy. Ooh. Faith is calling me all. Ain't no separating none of it. Once you figure that out, that you can't separate anything, it starts to make sense why everything works. Starts to make sense why you can't have energy without motion. Now, let's get into it real quick. We're going to cook and get up out of here real quick, right? I ain't going to talk you to death. Because you know I will talk you to death. This is the time and creation of man, the allegory of Adam and Eve. Now, as we search for truth related to the creation of men on earth, we find ourselves deep in the pits of confusion where the creation of man is concerned. Through religious dogma, myths, scientific fallacy, overlaid with scientific racism and classism, sprinkled with bias, hatred, and pure ignorance through overt indoctrination, the last 2,200 years or plus, we find ourselves with a hodgepodge of vague and convoluted tales and allegories. The only way we can truly bring light or understanding on this topic is to take a very scientific and objective view, leaving the emotional beliefs and subjectivity behind. Those of a higher objective light must at all times be able to prove the claims that they're making, or in truth, it's just darkness or subjective, as Owaspie makes evidently clear in the Book of Discipline 8:3, where it says, and many are also under the prejudice of old things or the influence of a neighbor or a spirit or their surroundings or the impulses of their own flesh. And I say, and they say, I too follow my highest light, whereas they are in darkness altogether. Nor do they know what is meant by the term highest light, often only venturing a vague opinion or a vague surmise instead and believing they are expressing their highest light, not knowing. For which reasons you shall explain that only facts well known or comparatively proven are light, an opinion is not light, and that whoever professes light must know the matter by his own knowledge. That facts, numbers, figures, or axioms can demonstrate light, and that without these, then the supposed light is only darkness. But this is deep right here. Pursue this philosophy, and you shall easily discover who among you has the highest light. And this is called today, friends and family, create a gang, the scientific method. Look, I ain't make none of that up. What, dude? Explain them that what? Facts, figures, numbers, axioms can demonstrate light, and that without these, then the supposed light is only darkness. This is the process of the scientific method. To try things. And clearly, right? That's called the scientific method, and clearly, Owaspy, and hence the creator, support the scientific method. Creation is not random. The harmony, symmetry, and beauty speaks clearly in the mathematical preciseness of the galaxy. And we all know where there is math, there is mind. Let me repeat it again for you. The harmony, symmetry, and beauty speaks clearly in the mathematical preciseness of the galaxy. And we all know where there is math, there is mind. Hit me with a 1 in the chat. Hinting towards a grand designer of it all, the great spirit itself, E-O-Y. Hit me with a vortex, Proving our ancestors correct again when they told us that all things have a reason and a season, Well, that reason is the Eoptian, or the optimal. What does optimal mean? Optimal is the best or most likely to bring success or advantage. So if we're talking about the creation and of man on earth, this would be the Eoptian or optimal, the best, most likely time for success or advantage on the earth, right? That's what Eoptian means, optimal. Now, as faithists, we never try to push our views on anyone, and yet when divergent views on a topic are offered, we strive to prove all things objectively and in real time. All right, hold on, my mouse is going crazy. Many confusing views, right? Many confusing views are offered by religious deities where the creation of man is concerned. For instance, the biblical God asserts that there is no one else on side of him who is actually created with him. I'll read it again. The biblical God asserts that there is someone else on side of him who is actually creating with him, right? As seen in Genesis 1:26, where we see, watch this, right? He says somebody there with him. Genesis 1:26, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. He says there's somebody there. How? Right? But which even becomes more confusing when we read in Isaiah 45:5, where he says, I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. Well, who is the God in Genesis 1:26 then? Because he clearly had somebody beside him. Check. If y'all see that, right? If y'all see that, hit me with a vortex in the chat. Huh? That at first, they saying, let us make man in our image after our likeness, a plurality, meaning more than one, multiple, our, together, right? But in 45 of Isaiah, he say, there is no one else. There is no God beside me. All right. Well, cognitive dissonance through subjective reasoning are the results of trying to rationalize the question, who is God speaking to? See, many views are offered on this topic. Many views are offered on this topic, the most prevalent being that God is talking to Elohim. But Hebrew linguists and Christian apologists and Christian scientists equate the Elohim in Genesis 1 as a majestic plural. Huh? Now, if it's supposed to be one, this is how they rationalizing that is so many different gods all in one. Right? Well, ain't that deity worship? Huh? I don't praise an angel to get to creator. I don't praise God to praise creator. See the difference? It is through these majestic plurals you creating idolatry on yourself. But through the twisted meaning of the doctrine, they didn't twist it around you, and you don't even know that you're doing it the opposite way. You wouldn't go through a middleman, you would go straight to source. Right? And then you don't know who. Right? Since it's a plural, right? You don't know who you're praying. You're assuming that it's Jehovah. You're assuming that it's Yahweh. You're assuming it's the Lord. But, or is it El Adonai? How can you be sure? You can't. So right off the top, you got a problem in the Bible. And that's why we show that the majestic plural, right, refers to, which is the use of a plural word to refer honorifically to a single person or deity. So you don't know who you're praising. Right off top, you don't get no creator in Bible. You get a multiplicity of deities together as one. If y'all see that, hit me with a vortex in the chat. Now, let me drop this down here real quick. Hold on. Now, if the ideology of majestic plurality is accepted, let's just say we accepted it, right? And we apply it, right? We would still only be talking about one single entity. So the question remains, who was the biblical God talking to? Even if we accepted the BS, which we don't, right? But you will have to admit that he contradicted himself either in 1 and 26 or Isaiah 45 and 5. Because there were gods on side of you in the beginning, or weren't there? See, that never even answers the question, who is he talking to? Right? Now, I find even the greatest minds lacking in axioms and actual proofs when topics of cosmogony are brought forth. Even the so-called most intelligent scientific minds are stumped and stuck in the mire of old subjective beliefs when cosmogony of the universe is brought forth. Right? In what is cosmogony? Cosmogony is the branch of science that deals with the origin of the universe, specifically or especially the solar system. Now, today, the central questions of cosmology and cosmogony are the framework of the Big Bang Theory. Now, I do not believe in coincidence, so it should be very telling when we look at in the very definition of the word cosmogony and we find an old system of belief, aka the Big Bang, proving the text of Owaspy was absolutely objectively correct when it stated that many are also under the prejudice of old things, or the influence of a neighbor or a scientist or a person or a spirit or their surroundings or the impulses of their own flesh. You don't even know why you can't stop doing what you're doing. When you doing when that thing that don't nobody see that you do, it be the impulse of your own flesh. Right? It be the impulses of your own flesh. And they say, I too follow my highest light. Now, Big Bang is a vague surmise or attempt to rationalize the creation of the universe, with the explanation being that nothing turned into something and then something blew up and then created life. Let me explain what Big Bang is to you in a nutshell. Is that nothing turned into something and then something blew up. So no wonder we find ourselves in a great quandary. When the leading theory of the day can't be proven objectively in real time. Ask yourself, have you ever seen nothing create something living? If you ain't seen it, hit me with some fire emojis. If you ever seen it, nothing create something living. Tell me what it is, first of all. Where you seen that at? But if you ain't never seen nothing create something and that is living, like nobody has, hit me with a fire emoji. Now, objectively, too, ask yourself, have you ever seen anything blow up and create life? Have you ever seen anything blow up and create life? Ever? Anything? I'm asking. I'm asking for a friend. Have you ever seen anything blow up some dynamite and then it make, I don't know what you think you're going to make. What does it make? It make dead stuff when you blow stuff up. It don't really make nothing alive. So they're trying to tell you because some gas is condensed and it blew up so big, but where do life come from? Because we don't see that objectively in any setting. As a matter of fact, you can set explosives in a container full of life. And if you set off the explosive, it most likely kills the life, not creates it. We can do these tests objectively. So I've never seen anything blow up and create life. Right? So we gotta burn that one down too. You dig what I'm talking? Hit me with some fire emojis. Now, if the Big Bang Theory, right, is the process, ask yourself, if it is the process that creation uses to create, and things are always and constantly being created, well, then that process must still be going on today and observable in creation. And well, then ask yourself, where can it be seen? Where do you see, like, in the sky, like something blowing up in the sky, and then it make a galaxy? Where you see something blowing up in the sky and making a planet. Well, we seen like comets blow up, but they don't make nothing alive. They kill everything. You dig what I'm saying? And they coming from out to Earth, not actually creating a Earth. So I'm stumped as into how this this system of Big Bang has stood this long. You dig what I'm saying? But now it's even questioning in itself. It's all its primary objectives and ideologies about itself have been proven wrong. They're off, every one of them. So none of them on the dark space, dark matter, the age, the time when things were created, how big the universe is, that it was static. No, we know that it's constantly expanding and it's moving faster. How? So everything that they said was the initial basis for Big Bang has already been disproven. Right? Got a little slant on it, and this the only really cosmogonic theory of how creation was created in the world. That's it. It's only two in the world. Did y'all know that? It's only two processes in the world that tell you how the creation was created. Big Bang. Huh? And the process of cosmogony and prophecy and creation through big vortex. Huh? In a waspy, it's not Big Bang, it's big spin. You dig what I'm saying? So, right. And no, we don't see anything in real time creating life by blowing up. Nothing. You dig what I'm talking about? And even for the people who say, oh, well, there's a plant that pops its seeds out and did it. But the plant ain't dead. It's trying to push its seeds. And it's already living. We're talking about what creates the seed initially. What created the very first seed before there was a plant? That's what we talking about. And guess what? You don't blow nothing up to get that. That's common sense, right? Hit me with a vortex. Let's keep moving. Yes, we've all heard the myths that a big man in the sky created the heavens and the earth. That's Genesis 1:1. Well, we care less that you make the claim that you made it. Show us how you made it. I don't care nothing that you said you made it. You can't prove it. You lying. Don't tell me you powerful. Show me you powerful. Huh? But when we ask biblical God, how did he create the heavens and the earth? To give us observable proofs and axioms, it's crickets. Hey, God, how did you create? We got that call back. We can't hear you, God. Yeah, you get all that when you start asking them pertinent, pointed questions. How did you do it? With what? It's got to still be doing it. So the process still got to be happening somewhere right now. I bet to be able to see it. Huh? When you find out the process is in everything, and this is why everything is moving, start to make a little bit. It starts to hit different than what Bible say. Huh? Because Bible ain't saying nothing. This is why we vibe high. This is why I'm telling y'all, just come and talk the gang. You don't want these problems. We'll do you God bad. You just try to come on in and see what we saying. You ain't trying to say you got to rock with it. And look, if you notice, we ain't asking none of y'all to be in the gang. We don't got no recruiting days. You dig what I'm talking about? We not trying to be y'all. No, nigga. No, we're not even trying to rock with y'all. Huh? Because what you don't understand is it's going to be a point where we going to get on. And you ain't going to hear nothing. And that's when you should start worrying. When you hear us stop talking, that means we gone. Huh? We ask biblical God how he made the heavens and the earth. That nigga gonna tell you, nothing. Huh? Not a nothing. Now, how odd is it that the supposed omnipotent, omnipresent God is quiet on how he supposedly created the universe? Huh? Brag about everything else. His most astounding creation. Because inside it is everything else. How odd that the evil, wrathful, jealous nigga, you dig what I'm talking about, who want his poppers, and you better have that barbecue right, nigga, because I need that sweet smelling savor up out you today. How odd that nigga, right, is quiet on how he made the universe. Seems it would be a simple question to answer if you're omnipotent in fact. It is quite revealing when one finds out that many of science's supposed greatest minds can't think their way out of a big bang bag. All so-called cosmologists and creationists are not beholden to science or God in fact, but all dumbed down and can't rise above the mental acumen of these men. George Lemaitre, he invented the Big Bang. Fred Hoyle, he coined the term. You can't rise higher than a German clergy. Look at your breath stank. You smelling your mustache. You ain't rose higher than your mustache. English astronomer Fred Hoyle is credited with coining the term Big Bang during a talk in March 1949, saying these theories were based on the hypothesis that all matter in the universe was created in one Big Bang at a particular time in a remote past. When? So, without a clear understanding of how the universe was created, there is no logical, objective, or common sense way that man can come to the understanding of how men are created upon the earth, especially if their only theory is subjective and not supported by reality. Now, warning, danger, Will Robinson. If you're racist, biased, hateful, ego-driven, religiously indoctrinated, prideful, prejudiced, or ignorant, I forewarn you that the following info will cause cognitive dissonance. You might as well turn the channel off. I'm about to make you spill your yak on that $200 suit. Now, to get a full understanding of creation and how the creator creates and with what, one must have at least a basic understanding of the vortex. Now, the vortex, what is the vortex? Vortex is a mass of whirling fluid or air, especially a whirlpool or whirlwind. All right. Now, a whirlwind is a column of air moving rapidly around and around in a cylindrical or funnel shape. Right? Here we go. Right? We got a large vortex right here, hurricane. Right here. Now, remember, we asked the biblical God how he created the heavens and the earth, and no answer was given. Well, when the same methodology is applied to the creator of sun, moons, and stars, the answer comes readily, expediently, and objectively. Watch this. Book of Jehovah. Book of Jehovah. Book of the Creator. He says, what? The whirlwind. The whirlwind. He said, hold on, let me go over here. The whirlwind I made as a sign to man of the way of my created worlds, right? He gave the whirlwind as a sign to man of the way he creates worlds. As you see the power of the whirlwind, as you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up the dust of the earth and driving it together, know that likewise I bring together the Jaya, the semi-light material in the sky, the Aja, the dark material in the sky, and the nebula, the rock-like, earth-like material in the sky. I bring together the Jaya, the Aja, and the nebula in the firmament, in the upper air, of the heaven, by the power of the whirlwind, by the vortex. I create corporeal suns, moons, and stars. This is how I do it. Right here. Hold on. Right? By spinning Vortexian motion. Aja is the semi-dark gaseous substance you see in the sky. Well, if you look in the sky and it'd be like a lighter patch and then a dark patch right there and then be light around it, but then be some more dark. The dark stuff is semi-dark gaseous material. That's why you can't see it. Aja is semi-light gaseous substance. This is why you can tell it's like a cloud out there. That's semi-light gaseous material. And then there's nebula, like elements and rocks and dust and water. You dig what I'm talking about? That's nebula. See the semi-dark material? See the dark spots out here? Dark spots? That's Aja. See this lighter substance? That's Jaya. Now see the earths, the rocks, the dust, the water, and heat and everything, whatever is out there. You dig what I'm talking about? That's nebula, like comets, the stuff that get rained on planets. That's out of nebulous or nebula material. Now, also notice that the creator has, I want you to notice, the creator has no one next to him. Ain't nobody next to creator. Ain't no us. Ain't no our. No majestic plural here. Just unlimitable power. Woo! Jaja, your daddy ain't no punk. Now, to be short, this is the how of creation, and the proof of vortex and vortexia is objective in all creation. The spiral formation of vortex, also known as Fibonacci spiral, the golden ratio, is present and observable in all creation. You can't doubt that. There is no, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. Huh? But what you can't do is deny it. It's objective. Right? That's like trying to deny that there's a sun. But what you don't know is even it, is managed and created. And proof of its creation is that it is beholden to the Fibonacci spiral or golden ratio also. See, we see these numbers in all spheres of creation, both as simple repeating patterns and as ratios and shapes. In other words, the Fibonacci number sequence is a clear mark of the designer that we can see shaping the nature surrounding us. Now, this is from the Fibonacci's numbers, the 1, 2, 3 of creation by Compass Classroom. Those are not my words. These are the words of scientists, And we see the spiraling nature and everything from a vortex to a galaxy, to a seashell, to a plant, to an acorn, to the trajectory of planets. We see the spiraling motion, which is the fingerprint of the Creator. It is only through Vortexian force, or the spin. This is why you can't have energy without motion. There is no separating them. And before you can have the energy, you must have the motion. You did. If you know that, before you can have the energy, you must have the motion. There is no separating motion and energy. If you know that, hit me with a vortex. It is only through Vortexian force that watch this, that the male sperm even reaches the female ovum. Did you know that? You thought, just like everybody else thought for the last 300, 400 years, that sperm swum like a fish, side to side. You ain't know it was shot like a bullet, did you? That is spin. Watch this. Now, the sperm tail, right? This is from polymathslab.com, right? The sperm tail moves like a processing spinning top that cancels out the side-to-side swimming stroke in an ingenious corkscrew motion. Symmetry is achieved through asymmetry, enabling human sperm to spin or shoot forward like a bullet. This is how it penetrates the egg. Makes sense now, don't it? Now that you know it's moving like a bullet. This is how it gets to the egg and gets through, because it's drilling. Pause. That sounded crazy. You dig what I'm saying? That sounded a little crazy. I ain't mean it like that, though. Right? But it literally, like a bullet, it drills into the target. And watch this. The thing that creates is everywhere, has to be. Because the possibility of everything being created everywhere must be possible. This is why they call energy that's not being used potential. Come on, man. Listen, it's literally everywhere, from the spinning motion of our own galaxy, right? Right here, we see the spinning galaxy. I want you to see right next to it is your fingerprint. The spiraling motion of the galaxy to the spiraling motion, evident in your fingerprints. Why is it spiraling? That don't even make sense. First of all, why are they there? Why do you got them on your tips? Because you got them on your toes too. A little trace of that Vortexian record, right? Y'all gonna catch on. Now attempt to wrap your mind around the great simplicity of our Creator. He uses the exact same process to make suns, moons, and stars that he uses to create man. Same process. This reinforces the ideal that if anyone attempts to teach about any part of creation, and they're not speaking of vortex first, excuse me, and they're not speaking of the vortex first, and not explaining the creative force first, right? Then it proves objectively from their lack of provable information that they're actually just regurgitating the ideas of others that they've been indoctrinated with. Why would you say that if you couldn't prove it then? Somebody told you and you believed it. Right? The Creator says, by the power of rotation, swift driving at the periphery, I condense the atmospheric gaseous worlds that float into the firmament, and that these become my corporeal worlds. And in the midst of the vortices, I made them. And by the power of the vortices, I turned them on the axis and carried them in the orbits I allotted them. Wider than to the moons of a planet, I have created the vortices, and they carry the moons also. So guess what? Modern science agrees with Owaspy. But first, what is atmosphere? Right? Because we were talking about that atmosphere. Right? The atmosphere is the mixture of gases, including nitrogen and oxygen, that surrounds the Earth and other celestial bodies, held in place by gravity. Right? Now, CERN, and this is from CERN, it says, present observation suggests that the first stars formed from what? Clouds of gas. So this is how we get the gaseous nature of our atmosphere. Spin. What condenses gas? Right? They say the first stars were formed from clouds of gas. Right? Even in a Big Bang theory. Now watch this. Question is, how could Owaspy be revealing this information in 1881 when modern science didn't even figure this out until 2011? And remember, right? Remember, it also said that it carried the moons in the vortex, right? Science figured out in 2019 that our moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. How will Owaspy know that? In 1881, modern science didn't figure it out to 2011 and 2019. Let's take another objective look at creation itself, right? This is the book of Jehovah, right? Around some of my corporeal worlds, I have given nebulous belts and rings. How do they stay there? Why they stay in the same spot? How they get created? I have given nebulous belts and rings so that man could comprehend the rotation of my Vortexian worlds. For each and every corporeal, excuse me. Let me go back up just a little bit. For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. What keeps them rings in a perfect circular ring around the planet? Huh? For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. And by its rotation and from the places in the firmament where it traveled, I caused the vortex to conceive the corporeal world like a birth. So think of it like the earth is the living being, right? But the gaseous part around every living being must breathe, right? So it must have a gaseous part around it. So you could think of the air pocket or the vortex or the atmosphere around the planet as a womb. Because he caused the vortex, the atmosphere, to conceive the corporeal world, to make the sun. Listen, he said, I created a great vortex, a black hole. And within this vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of the many corporeal worlds that we see in our solar system. The sun's vortex I caused to rotate, and I gave it power to carry vortices within it. Objective proof of this claim is, does the sun rotate? Yes. The sun rotates on its actual axis, completing a full rotation roughly every 27 days. The proof that the sun's vortex carry the other planets' vortex within it is called the solar system. And according to the density and position, they are thus carried forth around the sun. I ain't make none of this. This is a pic from James Webb Telescope, July 12, 2023. All spiraling galaxies, every single one of them. Why? Because he uses the same process to create everything. From galaxies to man. Now let's look at things logically. If I am an all omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent creator, and I wanted to reveal to man how the creation was created, I would make provisions for my methodology to be written down, right? Give me with a one. Give me with a one in the chat. If I wanted to make it known, I would make provisions for my methodology to be written down, and I define what I would explain right on the cover, right? If I wanted to do that. Should be an easy thing for a creator to do, agreed, right? Hit me with a two, right? If I wanted to explain this to man and just give it to him and then put it on the book and tell what the book was going to say, I could put that right on the cover. That shouldn't be nothing, right? If you're a real creator, right? We don't see that in the Bible. We don't see that in no religion. So Owaspy must be something different. Why? Because it did it. See, so it should come as no surprise that the people who actually stand by the creator, right, will bring forth a text not only purported to be from the creator, but a text that outpaces all other spiritual texts in beauty, symmetry, harmony, and oneness. See, you never even have to go past the cover with a wasp. And all things are made plain. Look, it's a primary for the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development of the individuals, groups, and humanity, for their glory, happiness, and for the glory of the whole, in the words of the creator and his angel ambassadors, right? But look, right? It says it contains a history of the dominions of the higher and lower heavens of the earth, Huh? For the past 25,000 years, being from the submersion of the continent of Pan in the Pacific, commonly called the flood or the deluge, to the Cosmon era or the present time. So I don't really understand why people are so upset about these revelations. It's actually mind-boggling. You dig what I'm saying? To me, it's mind-boggling. One would assume that, right? Excuse me, my bad, y'all. Excuse me, y'all, my bad. One would assume that so-called holy people would hold truth, especially those spiritually based in high esteem, right? The Creator was honest. He told you what this was about right on the cover. Look. A synopsis of the cosmogony of the universe. Remember, cosmogony of the universe is about the creation of it. Specifically, our solar system. The creation of planets, the creation of man, the unseen worlds, right? And that's where we at, right there. The creation of man. So before we get into the creation of man, one of the many benefits of WASP is that it provides a provable cosmogony, right? And that is the timetables of prophecy, in which the Creator teaches us not only how to prophesy, but how to tell time. But let's focus on the time of man's creation, right? The timetable of prophecy explaining archaic timelines, right? This is what time would look like, right? You wouldn't see it linear. You know what I mean? We get time linear, but it would be more like this. More circular, like a clock. Right? Now, the above chart shows the time of creation. Right? Now, in the top right quarter, see this? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we talking about this one with the light, with the white, the light green, and the darker green. Right? The above chart shows the time of creation in the top right quadrant. One quadrant equals 36,000 years in duration. Now, Asu is shown to arrive in the second half. Let me blow this up. Hold on. Okay. Let me come down a little bit. All right. Now, Asu is shown to arrive in the second half of the second creation. Y'all thought it was just one. In the second half, right? This is time of creation in the green. In the second half of the second creation, here's the second creation, the dark green, and the second half. Each one of these marks is an arc cycle or a measure of 3,000 years. So if you count these 12, this is why each corner is 36,000 years. So this is giving you a total count of 144,000 years. But we go on from the time of man creation. Right here, we got at the time of Sethantes, men like me and you were created through breeding with the angelic host. But 6,000 years before that, this 72,000, 6,000 years before that, 78,000, we got proto-Asu, hominin, the Neogene Permian, and the mid-Miocene. They say this is millions of years ago. Owaspi gives a different take on it. This is only 78,000 years ago. And we have a way to rationalize this with using their techniques. So we're not, trying to recreate the wheel. We are just rationalizing it different using the sun and the moon to tell the time, right? So this is a true explanation for your 6-day creation myth, right? See, right here, remember they tell you, a day is like 1,000 years. Well, we got to understand in right here, when man was created 6,000 years before thinking man like you, upright thinking man like me and you, those are the play that the false god used to make the creation story 6 days. These are your so-called, this is why Paul says a year is like 1,000 is like a day, or 6 days. And for the 6,000 years, that's because it was actually in those 6,000 years, man was created twice. Huh? He even bred itself down to primarily a couple homogeneous stocks, right? And this is the difference between your early proto-Adamites and your Adamite people being more standardized, where you get your Neanderthal, the Denisovan, Erectus, and all these, these people groups, and even the pygmy people. You dig what I'm talking about? The Homo florensis. So this would explain, you dig what I'm talking about, why they come in various types early and then change to a more standardized people groups over time, right? And this is the true explanation of your 6-day creation myth, and also why Paul claims that a day is like 1,000 years to the Lord in the biblical text. See how actual knowledge can change your whole point of view? The story actually starts to make sense when it is revealed that the 6,000 years or 6 days is not the time allowed for all creation, but for the creation of man on earth circa 78,000 years ago. Also, Owaspi's proto-Adam revelation may have just answered one of science's greatest genetic conundrums, which is, why is there so much genetic variation between more archaic hominid types and then in the modern Homo sapiens, right? From the Stanford News. Stanford study dives deep into the genetic differences between the modern and archaic humans. Researchers examined 14,000 genetic differences between modern humans and our most recent ancestors. So we're not even the same people, right? Even there. So you must breed down from these groups to get people like us. Right? These are the ancestors, right? They're not one single group back then, right? And to get an American Indian, you must breed him down from American Indian stocks that predate him, for instance, right? So they found that differences in gene activation, not just genetic code, could underlie the evolution of the brain and the vocal tract. They never take into account spirit. Now, this is from, that's by Taylor Cabuto. Now, FYI, I want y'all to know that Owaspi supports the epigenetic model. Right? Now, here's a more linear view of the timetable, right? So you see right here in the very first arc cycle called Wan or Wayne. You dig what I'm talking about? The archangel Sethantes. During that time, Eve, the angelic host with him, created Abel, or the ions, when he bred with Asu. But Asu had been on earth 6,000 years before God got here. Let that sink in. Man had been on earth this time. Now, mind you, I'm saying man been on earth millions of years, just not in a row. But what I am is saying is 6,000 years before the man was already on earth, 6,000 years before the very first God got here. Who was man's first teacher then? Had to be the nature around him. He wouldn't have known what thirsty was. But my tongue hanging out my mouth because I was running just like the dog was running. The dog went over to whatever this thing is on the ground and he stuck his tongue in it. And now his tongue ain't sticking out no more. Let me try that too. Oh, what is this? We don't know. But when we get thirsty, well, what is thirsty? I don't even know. But my throat feel funny. What is funny? We don't know. So imagine how long it would have took man couldn't have came up this on his own. So he had to get a jump start, right? This is why he was here 6,000 years as a beast. Do you dig what I'm saying? 2,000 more years, you dig what I'm talking about? He don't even exist no more. He ain't even out the first arc cycle. And he don't even exist. But he was here without God all by himself. Oof, living like a beast, though. He didn't even know he existed. Because a man don't even know it's a man. That's why man is the lowest of the animals at first. But he rises because he starts you off low. He rises you forever. You below the animals when you're born. Dogs got empathy. Right? Big got to learn it anyway. But it's really start to make sense when you apply it, right? Because during this time, you did what I'm talking about. But this is 72,000 BC, right? 6 years before that, 6,000 years before that, we at 78,000 BC. And look, we got the creation of beast man. But during this 6,000 years or 2 arc cycles, or 6-day theory, right? Man is created, right? But upright thinking man, right? Or Adam and Eve, right? But upright thinking man, Abel, right? Comes after them. That's the very first time. And we start measuring real time for us modernly at that point. But we got it going back almost 100,000 BC. And during all this time, you get your Miocene, your Neogene, your Jurassic period, your Triassic, all that happens in this. It ain't even 100,000 years. And they try to tell us it's millions and billions. It ain't. Man, this version of man is new. Now, it really starts to make sense when you apply the Cosmon theory for the era of man, or the lesser cycle of man, called the era. Now, we know there's many problems with carbon dating, but just to break it down to just be quick, right? When you're using Earth, you use the Great Gadol count. But when you're using for the count of man, right, you use the lesser cycle called the era, a 12,000 year count. So when they use carbon dating, we don't try to throw it away. We allow them to carbon date and then extrapolate from there. So roughly every 500 carbon dated years for man is only actually 120 actual Earth years. Right? So when they tell you something is 1,000 years old carbon dated, it's really only 240 years old. Right? So when they tell you something is 10,000 years old carbon dated, it's actually only 2,400 years old. And so on. So when you get to 100,000 years, it's actually only 24,000 actual Earth years, right? Keep that in mind, right? Now, with that in mind, Owaspy begins to clear away the ancient cognitive dissonance where the creation of man is concerned. Our current cycle is the 25th arc cycle after the creation of thinking man, called Cosmon. We find that by using the era time measurement of 12,000 years, or 12,000 times 25 equals 300,000 years, right? And here we go right here. All right, let me bring it down a little bit. Right? We got the greater count right here, the Gadol, that we use to figure out the age of the planet. Right? The Gadol, but finding man on the planet, we use the smaller count called the era, which is the era's 360 generations, or 4 arc cycles for 12,000 years. A Gadol is double that. This is 12,000 years. So a Gadol is double that, 720 generations, or 8 arc cycles, 8 3,000 year periods is 24,000. So we're using the lesser cycle, 12,000, to find man, right? Watch this. Which is astoundingly exactly, right? Remember we gave that 300,000 date, right? Which is astoundingly exactly the carbon dated date given by modern science for the creation of modern humans. 300,000 years, right? Why can we agree? Because it agrees with the Cosmon theory for rational carbon dating. Watch this. The oldest Homo sapien bones ever found, right? Shake the foundations of human history. The idea that modern humans evolved in East Africa 200,000 years ago is challenged by extraordinary discovery of a what? Of a 300,000-year-old remains in a Moroccan mine. Why can we agree with that? Why? So if 100,000 carbon dated years is actually only 24,000 Earth years, then 300,000 carbon dated years, as they say, man, is 72,000 Earth years. Exactly the date given in Owaspy for the creation of man. Science again is agreeing with Owaspy. How? I ain't make that up. Science, again, is agreeing with Owaspy. 6 eras, right? Or 6 times 12,000 is 72,000. Equals the creation of modern man. We agree, right? We agree. You say 300,000, it's 72,000 if you take into account that carbon dating is not perfect, right? We were given a way to tell the time, and it agrees. Book of Jehovah, tell me, O Creator, where did life come from? This unseen that is in me, right? That is conscious of being. Tell me how all the living came into life. And the Creator heard the words of man, and answering, he said, let a sign be given to man so that he comprehends Simu. Sound a lot like semen, don't it? Well, what would you call the galactic parts of the building block of life? Galactic semen would be. And so Jehovah caused the jellyfish and the green scum of the water to be permanently coming forth in all ages, so that man could understand the age of Simu. When the earth was and the shores by the water, and the water also, and in the air, right? Because once it's stacked up on earth, where is it? It's in the air, right? All right. Covered over with we're covered over with commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance. This substance was called Simu. Why? Because by his presence, the Creator quickened it into life. That is what comes forth. So when they tell you when they ask you which comes before the chicken or the egg, it's the chicken whole. And in that way, he made all the living, both the vegetable and the animal worlds. Now look, not that Simu is jellyfish or green scum, but it's that gelatinous substance like, huh? Not that it's jellyfish or green scum of the water, for in this day, the earth does not produce Simu abundantly. Nevertheless, the jellyfish and green scum of the water, right? Pond scum, all that stuff, are signs of which in that day was in that day of the earth. And Jehovah said, because of my presence, I quickened into life all that live or ever have lived. And because I am male and female, even in my likeness, I made everything, not only man, but everything that's living is male or female. As a matter of fact, it ain't even got to be living. Long as it's moving, it's male or female. Because the creator of all, huh? We ain't talking about having no boobies and a cooter, huh? That don't make you female. Having some testes and a penis don't make you male, huh? Even in my likeness, I made them dust. But because I am the power to quicken into life, so in likeness of me, I made them men with the power to bring forth, huh? But you can't even do it by yourself. So warning, if you're racist or practice colorism or lookership, this may cause cognitive dissonance according to their respective places, huh? According to where I made them, huh? Not only in pairs, not just Adam and Eve, huh? But in hundreds of pairs and in thousands of pairs and millions of pairs, anywhere where they could be made and live, huh? Which would have been somewhere by the equator. Why? Because it's the warmest part of the earth, and these things wouldn't have had no clothes. So they'd have had to been in the warm regions, right? The warmer regions, all the way around the earth. But depending on how the light fell for you, you dig what I'm talking about? According to their respective places where you were on the planet, and the light upon the substance that creates your genetics. So I quickened them in their color. Uh-oh. Huh? You brown because your people come from where brown people come from. Dude. You white because guess what? You come from where white people come from. You white today because some of your ancestors was white in the past. You brown today because some of your ancestors was brown in the past. You yeller today because some of your ancestors was yeller. It's simple. So I quickened them in their color. Why? Because their colors, just like why darker animals are towards the equator and the lighter ones are in the colder regions. And they're adapted to their dwelling places. So color is an epigenetic adaptation to the environmental stimulus called light. If you see that now, right? Ain't got nothing to do with I'm better than you, or you dig what I'm talking about? I got more melanin, so that means I'm something different. Nope. The reason you're the color you are and you look the way you do is because of the epigenetic adaptation to light. Huh? Hit me with some fire emojis. We cooking. Right? Ain't got nothing to this. We gonna kill all this racism stuff. Right? It's too low vibratory for such a good people. Y'all too good for this. So each and every living thing I created new on earth. of a kind each of itself. So dogs always been dogs, never been wolves. Lions always been lions, ain't never been tigers. Never, ever. Even though they in the same genus, they all felines. Neither and not one living thing did I create out of another. That kills evolution. Now, the representation of Simu or galactic semen has been found. I know it sounds crazy, but we found it. It's called star jelly. Look at it. That's a good representation of what it would have been like on the shores, on the water. This is the pond scum, right? Like that. This is why I give it a representation of it, right? This is the definition of Simu. Simu is commingled earth, air, water, heat, and thick atmosphere. Protoplasmic-like, colloidal-like substance. The preceding substance of the living. This is what comes before the living. Definition of colloidal. Colloidal means a homogeneous, non-crystalline substance consisting of large molecules or ultramicroscopic particles of one substance dispersed through a second substance, like semen. Colloids include gel, souls, emotions, right? The particles do not settle and cannot be separated out of ordinary filtering or centrifuging like those in a supposition. Even science tries its best to explain Simu. It's called the panspermian theory, right? Panspermia is the hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe distributed by space dust, right? Or meteoroids, asteroids, comets, and planetoids. This is from Wikipedia. Now, having the building blocks of life, ask your question. Have the building blocks of life been found on meteorites, comets, space dust? Has it? Has the building blocks of life been found on space dust, meteorites, meteoroids, comets, and planetoids? Has it been found? That would go a long way to proving a wasp be objectively truthful. Wouldn't you agree? If a wasp said come out the sky and we find it on meteorites and asteroids, all the building blocks of life, ACTG, that would go to lending credibility to the narrative being told by a waspy, right? Well, look, yeah, it's already been found. All the bases in DNA and RNA have now been found in meteorites. This is just a 2-gram chunk of this rock. A piece of meteorite fell from near Murchison, Australia in 1969. Contains two crucial components of DNA and RNA now identified for the first time in an extraterrestrial source. Now, this is just 2 of the 4 nucleobases, adenine and guanine, which belong to a group of chemical compounds called purines, were first detected in meteorites in the 1960s in Japan. In Japan, and his 2 colleagues have discovered the remaining 2, because there's 4, right, that you must have to create a DNA nucleobase, cytosine and thymine, right? So all of them have been found in meteorites. The adenine, the guanine, the cytosine, and the thymine, also known as ACTG, known as pyrimidines, right, have been found in several meteorites. So the ACTG, all 4 of the key DNA building blocks, have been found in meteorites. How? If it's not out there, how did it come from out there? Proving that the higher light revealed in the book of the earth, sky, and spirit, Owaspy. Now, human history in Owaspy goes back a mere 78,000 years to the creation of Adam. The fossil records also show that various stages of animal life existed and became extinct in cycles millions of years, millions of years before the first human appeared. At the foundation of the first heavens of the earth, which correlates to the creation of the first Homo sapiens, then or men with spiritual ability called Abel, we find in the book of Setantes a very curious date is given to commemorate the event. The book of Setantes 2 and 29, and the record of the great serpent, or the movement of our sun, showed that the firmament of Timyi in the third circuit of Suborcum in the Dani 24. Now, with the common understanding that Suborcum is one orbit of the solar system of 4.7 million lunar years, and a Dani is 3,000 years. So times 24, we got again 72,000 years. Now, but that is 4.7 million times 3, right? Which equals 4.1 million, right? 14.1 million. But you got to also add in the 24 Dani, or 72,000 years, for a total of 14,172,000 or 172 million years, right? 14,172,000 years, right? Now, I must admit that at very first glance, and when I first thought of this, it'd be very easy to assume that the date given is the overall date of the earth, right? But obviously, the earth is magnitudes older than the third circuit, or 14 million years, right? Given in the time of Setantes. But a deeper study reveals that this is not the age of Earth, right? It's not the age of Earth. Earth much older. But the age of man on Earth. So thus the first humans, think about this, appeared on the Earth nearly 14 million years ago, before Adam. The footnote on page 117 of Owaspy says the 14,172 years, but it is not the age of the earth, right? But of man on earth. He just hasn't, he comes on, he lives for a while, he goes extinct. Comes back. He lives for a while, he goes extinct. We've done this multiple times, y'all, over the last 14 million years. Another great revelation brought about through Owaspy. Oh, we older than we think. They find in proof of this version of man. They think it's 300,000 years ago, only 72,000. Cycle was revealed through the timetables of prophecy, and that is the circuit. A circuit is a 239,616,000 year trip, or one trip of our sun around the galactic center, which is our sun's sun. Let that sink in for a second. Our sun spins around an even greater sun at our galactic center. But I'm telling you also, our sun and our sun has another sun. It's called the Northern Star, Heracleon, Tau. You dig what I'm talking about? And we spin around it, and it and us spin around the galactic center. But we ain't gonna go there yet. Now, but does science agree with Owaspy? See, we ain't got to talk about it, huh? Do they agree? Owaspy says 239 million, but does science agree on this great count? And how did he know in 1881? No man knew. You think a white boy knew from Ohio? Nigga, please. No. So how could he have known the exact time of a galactic year even better than the scientists? How could he know? The galactic, yeah. Does science agree again with Owaspy on this point? Yes, it's called the galactic year. The galactic year, also known as a cosmic year, is the duration of time required for the sun, our sun, to orbit once around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. One galactic year, look what they said, is 230 million years. This is from the long Stacy period of the sun orbit around the galaxy of the cosmic year in the physics fact book. Now remember, this was written and revealed through Owaspy in 1881. Science didn't figure this out till 2002. Which lends credibility again to the words found in Owaspy. Logically, the only person who knew about the galactic year in 1881 was the one who created it, the creator himself. Via radio telescopes, astronomers have learned that our sun has two distinct orbits in the Milky Way. The larger is a huge circuit around the galaxy at a velocity of 200 miles per second, or one orbit, which is 239,616,000 years. Exactly how Owaspy know before they figured this out in 2002. Remember, Owaspy reveals we are currently in the 23rd grand circuit. Scientists currently estimate the Earth age to be between 3.5 and 4.5 billion years old. See, to us, that's only 15 to 18 trips around around the galaxy. But with a little bit of applied mathematics, Owaspy is rendering clarity on the true age of the planet. Look, watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Let me go and show y'all that 239 million, right, times the 15 equals 3.5 billion, or a little less than 3.6 billion years, 3.5, right? That's 15 circuits, right? If you go to 18 circuits, right, that's 4.3 billion years, right? That's the 2.3 times 18, right? But remember, Owaspy is revealing something different, right? Hold on, let me go down here, right? 23 circuits is over 5.5 billion years, right? That's over 5.5 billion years. Which is over a billion years older than what geological scientists theorize the Earth to be. There's a simple explanation for all this, and that worlds are the gardens of the Creator, and thus the Earth has growing seasons, which Owaspy calls suns, right? And there are 8 gardens in one circuit of Savorcum, right? These sums, right, are 576,000 years, right? A garden is broken down into 8 sums. This is where you get your 4.7. So the history of man on Earth, the current garden is the 23rd, being the 7th magnitude or sum per the book of 8th in the 3rd circuit of Savorcum. So a single garden consists of 4 ages. This is where you get your 144,000. They always tell you that they're people. They're actually years. And this, the 144,000, is why it's so special, because this is the time that man exists on the planet. Right? This is why it's done it 14 times. Because just like fruit every year, you raise a new crop of fruit and it dies in the winter, and then the next year after spring and summer, new fruit come. Same thing happened with men. Right? Every one of these 576,000s are broken down into 4 144,000 year periods. The first one is called Simu, or the time of the created. The second is Hotu, the time of growing. The third is Adu, the time of harvesting. And finally, Uz, right, is the time of destruction and rest before, or winter, right, before the next garden begins. Our human season, right, in the garden is called the Eoptian age, hence the name of the title. Also, with a duration of 144,000 years. The garden ages, Simu, Hotu, Adu, and Uz, are further halved to seasons of 74,000, right? So your 144,000 split into two is 72,000, right? Now, Owaspy often refers to three of these half ages, called Hak, Cephas, and Cosmon, right? Because these three are involved in the Eoptian, or the optimal time for human existence on the planet, right? Now, I got to jump down. I got to get up off of here in a minute. I got something to do. I was trying to get this out the way, but I wanted to show y'all how the garden system is broken down, right? The same system, we get this same system, right? Remember, a garden, right? One orbit, right, is 4,700,000 years, right? But that 4,700,000 years is broken down into 8 gardens of 576,000 years apiece. We are in the 7th one right now, right? Man created right here, right? See the time of habitation, time of barrenness, time of destruction, right? Man was created 6,000 years before in Hak, right? At the springtime, on the time of the creation, right? We are just a little over halfway. We in the year 72,177. So we roughly got 72,000 years to go till man starts to peter off. Then about this time, about halfway through here, he'll start going extinct. Right? So, man, we got a long time. You'll be God before this planet dies out. All right? So, this is a little, let's get this out the way. See, we as faithists in one ever-present creator also offer revelation that an ark, right? Hold on. Let me go back up. Right now, the accompanying plate illustrates the relationship of the 8 gardens within the one Savorcum and the 4 stages within the 8 seasons. And then the Eoptian age, or human existence, began with the creation of Adam in this garden right here, right? But Eve arrived, right? This is where the God niggas come. Right here. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. All right. So right here, right before, after the 38,000 years into the 144,000 year time of creation, because time of creation is 144,000 years. Time of habitation is 144,000 years. The time to barrenness and of barrenness is 144,000 years. And the age of winter, or the time of destruction, is 144,000 years. That's why the number is so important, because it's the 4 parts of a garden, or 5,7600 year period. Now, dig this. There are other people who have this system, but they don't tell it right because the sages have held the information, right? If you take out this 144,000, right, that leaves 144,000, 144,000, 144,000. That's 432,000. Anybody who knows anything about counting time anciently knows automatically that this is called the Kali Yuga, or the Yuga time system. It's the 432,000 years of the spring, the fall, and the winter, but not of the age of man. They hold this back on purpose. This is why they time system run off 8 or some odd numbers. Their number is 108. You dig what I'm saying? They run it off a different system, right? Because their sages were holding back the knowledge in the time of habitation. So if you add that 144,000 to their 432,000, you get what? 576,000. That's what they hide. And I'm not even gonna say that they're wrong for that. But Eve arrived at the 25th Danai 72,000 years ago at the beginning of Cephas, right? When upright thinking man was created, Abel, right? That's when the gods came. The man was already here. The middle of the Eoptian age is marked by the building of the Great Pyramid, right? 72,000 years is the halfway point, right? That's 25, but basically 2500 BC. You dig what I'm talking about? 2600 BC, when the pyramids was being made over there. They was already here. We had a whole pyramid age. It was some after that. But they're using them as a way to tell the halfway point. Exactly 72,000 years too. Hey. Right? Right. It was the halfway point between the two arcs of Cosmon, right? And beginning in this garden, we humans are destined for extinction years past the halfway point, or what we call 2025. So don't worry about nothing taking us out. No, it's not going to happen like that. We as faithists in one ever-present creator also offer revelation that an ark, right, is a 3,000 year span of time, not a boat or a box. Revealing truths long lost behind allegorical tales like Noah's Ark or the Ark of the Covenant, right? The Ark is a 3,000 year span of time. I don't think anybody here would debate that there is an intelligent designer of the universe. Well, Owaspi is the unveiling of the intelligent design. It just hits different. When your Bible teaches high cosmological science, when your Bible teaches high cosmological science, it just hit different. Now, the Eoptian age, or the human existence, began with the creation of Adam, or Asu, in this garden 6,000 years before the end of Hak, right? Or the Simuan age, or the time of creation, right? With this type of high-level spiritual information being revealed, it is just the creation of man upon earth. People may ask, how do you prove these things true? And I will answer in the way of the Creator. Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy. Prophecy is not guesswork. Absolute rules govern all. Couple of things, Cosmon? Maybe a few things. No. All things. See, we clear on this side. No convoluted allegorical stories, confusing myth with reality. We don't need or use belief. where creator and its creation is involved. Creation is objective, and so must be your method of proving creator through his creation. We choose to use empirical and historical data, the scientific method in accordance with mathematics, tied into what is commonly known, tempered with logic and common sense. For many, math nor cosmological sciences are their strong suits, right? So to recap shortly, archaic man was created 6,000 years before the Homo sapiens sapiens, during the age of Hawk, circa 78,000 BC. Owaspi also offers scientific answers to the great variations between hominins and hominids. The Ions, Abel, the first Homo sapien. Here they go. When they talk about white and yellow, they didn't tell you they were still Negroid though. White and yellow. And Owaspi tell you when we talking about white and yellow, we not talking about Europeans. So what are you talking about? Yo, that was crazy, man. It kicked me off the whole little thing. But when you get to cooking that highlight, you dig what I'm saying? They the Jews just get to jiggling wires. So I ain't worried about it. You dig what I'm saying? I just want to let y'all know, man. And come back in, man. We'll probably cook a little later. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to the gang though, man. Smash that like button, man. Show your boy some love. Support the channel. Don't cost you nothing to share it on free on your apps and your social medias. You dig what I'm talking about? And then when y'all share it, you dig what I'm talking about. Tag me in it, right? Tag me in it, or whatever you dig what I'm talking about, so I can come to y'all stuff. Because I don't really know how to work. I don't even like what's the little TikTok. I don't even really like it. I don't use it, even though I got a page. But I will follow y'all. You dig what I'm saying? I'll follow y'all and maybe throw up some stuff. Somebody just got to teach me how to like do the little screens and all that. And as soon as I ask my daughter, if you dig what I'm talking about, she'll teach me how to do it. And I do some stuff on TikTok too. But until then, it is what it is. My boy Selah Shilly Nazarene, the scene faith is Fritz up in here. Judah Prince Judah Vaughn, huh? Yeah. That makes sense. Why would the creator sugarcoat anything? You dig what I'm saying? Shout out my boy George Hall, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Checking all the way in from the islands, man. That boy way over there in New Zealand. You dig what I'm talking about? Show the Faith is brother too. You dig what I'm talking about? You and your son gotta put your music up, man, so we can bang some of your music and share your music out there, bro. Come on and build with us, man. They don't know that a lot of the stories that they get over there in the Isles and stuff. You know what I mean? What they call Sunderland. You dig what I'm talking about? The southern lands and all that, Melanesia, Polynesia, all that area. You dig what I'm talking about? All them stories go really right along, especially the flood myths and all that stuff. Them stories kind of go right along with what we got here in America. Crazy. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out my boy Doe, man. You dig what I'm talking about? George Orr, man. Showing some love. Belinda Brown in this thing. What up, Doe? Mahali y'all naturals. You dig what I'm talking about? Hey, my Iman's always been better than y'all Iman. You dig what I'm saying? Look, see, look, he say the term quartero or quarteru refers to the spiral shape of a newly unfurling fern frond and significant symbol in Maori cultural representing new life, growth, peace, and strength. You start to see that correlation all across the world. What up? What's going on, man? What's going on, y'all? You dig what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna keep y'all long today, man. You know Cosmon and get talking. You dig what I'm talking about? The Huba lifestyle, my Iman, has always been better than your Iman. You dig what I'm talking about? T Brew, what up, though, bro? Gang is in this thing. You hear me? Dig what I'm saying? We'll shout out to everybody, man, for checking in, man. We've been cooking a few hours. We gonna go and get up out of here, man. I'll probably pop back on a little later just to see what the word is, man. See if y'all want to come kick it. I'll be acting like y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all don't rock with a nigga or something. You dig what I'm saying? That's how it is. I just get up here and, talk, and you dig what I'm saying? Y'all niggas y'all don't say nothing. Well, y'all better stop acting frontin'. You dig what I'm talking about? Y'all niggas be talking big shit in the back. Y'all be cooking good in the back. You dig what I'm talking about? Plus, you dig what I'm saying? It's just always good to be here with the fam. You dig what I'm saying? So I'll probably just come back on just to kick it a little later when everybody get home. It'll be a little later in the afternoon. Probably about 8-ish. I might even go on about 9-ish just to kick it for a little bit. You dig what I'm talking about? See what the word is with the jelly birds. You dig what I'm saying? But let me see what's going on here. Let me see what we got going on here. You dig what I'm saying? I think we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. Love, light, and balance.
Shout out to Cosmon Cow. Cosmon Cowboy, I'm going to tell you something. He is a problem. He is a problem when it comes to these Hebrew Israelites. Y'all better stop playing. He is a problem. Cosmon Cow is a problem. Creator gang.
Creator gang coming, creator gang coming. Turning up the light and watching boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan.
Create a gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength. We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
Always, man. I just need y'all to do one thing, and that's breathe in and let that light in. Because I'm Cosmon, and I'm on.
that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feel it when you feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh, just that Japheth, that Chow Mein, that Papabul, that Tao Mein, since sunset in the arc of Wayne, my brain moving like Tao Sang. So as above, it's so below, that up and that down thing. This flow is atmospherian, I call that a ground game. See, water is knowledge, so if I'm teaching, you're learning. So how your God make a sun without Vortexian current? See,